What's up, YouTube? ODST General back again with another Operation Trebuchet news update. So we've got quite a lot to talk about, guys. Unfortunately, my recording time's been significantly reduced at the new place. I went from having like 2 days where I couldn't record to like 4 days plus a lot less extra time the days I can. So let's go ahead and get into it. So starting right off, we got the main Operation Trebuchet mod news. Jedi Nick showed off a new ODST helmet, the sniper visor. This will probably come as some form of attachment. Maybe it will just be a whole helmet. It's not been confirmed yet. He said it probably won't be a night vision goggle slot, or it won't work like night vision goggles, though, so don't get your hopes up for that. The helmet that you guys are seeing in the picture, that itself is just the standard ODST helmet that's already in the mod. Of course, that looks just a little bit different because it's in a different rendering program. Beyond that, we had Drake Darren showing off some stuff. So some of these were pulled from his art station, and he kind of talked about some of these on the Discord. So we've got the Mongoose, which of course is already in the mod in an incomplete version. It's still work in progress. But he showed off a police variant of the Mongoose, which is pretty cool. This variant has some beacons on the front of it. It's got a little bit of extra roll bar, I do believe. I can't remember if the other Mongoose has that at all or not, but pretty cool looking, pretty exciting. Of course, if you guys haven't been with the Optre mod very long, there used to be police units. I think there might still be the vehicles in the mod, but the units themselves were removed when the uniforms were redone. I don't know if that means we might be getting police unit textures at some point in the not too distant future here, but that would be pretty neat. The other thing he had on his art station was the Halo Wars base turret. Pretty cool. I think this is from Halo Wars 2. I'm not sure. It might be Halo Wars 1. I can't remember for sure. These will go great because, of course, Drake Darren is working on the Halo Wars 1 base turrets for the UNSC, so these will be perfect counter to that. I don't know if these are going to be remote controlled or how that's going to work, but pretty cool stuff nonetheless. Also, looking at these in a much higher detail than Halo Wars itself, it occurs to me that these turrets look like an elite's head. I don't think that's a coincidence either. Kind of funny, but just a little aside there. Anyways, we got to keep rolling, guys, because there is plenty to talk about. Speaking of turrets, of course, we have the Scythe that's being worked on. That is the anti-air defense turret. Also anti-ground, I suppose, very much, too. Bacon Shelf has been working on this one, and it is pretty awesome here. Lots of different renders of it. Of course, not in-game once again. This is an outside rendering program. But we've got pictures of the base, we've got some work-in-progress decals, we have multiple angles, all sorts of cool stuff with that. Once again, going back to Jedi Nick, we have a new M45 shotgun. So the M45 is one of the earliest weapons from Operation Trebuchet. I do believe this got a workover with the new textures and stuff, but the old version they've decided to replace. I thought this one held up really well, but, nonetheless, despite the fact that they are redoing it, I don't necessarily think that was necessary. It turned out really good. Jedi Nick did share some pictures in-game of the new shotgun, both the extended barrel version as well as the standard version. One version even including, like, some extra shotgun shells attached to the weapon itself, which is pretty neat looking. Yeah, beyond that, not much else to talk about on the shotgun. But the biggest news, the one that everybody here has been waiting for. Actually, no, there's two. So, I'll actually talk about the other one first. I don't have that in here because I don't have any still images saved for some reason. But we have the Sparrowhawk from Halo Wars. Now, we've known the Operation Trebuchet dev team has been working on this, but it's been pretty quiet for a while. However, Scorch has recently been sharing a lot of his work on that, so this is a combination effort by Drake Darren and Scorch, I do believe. Drake, of course, modeling it out, and Scorch working on getting the thing in-game, getting weapons working, stuff like that. So we've got some video of this. This does appear to be a two-person fighter craft, so this will probably be... I don't know if this is quite the replacement for the longsword, but it's definitely a heavy weapons platform. It's definitely the fighter craft a lot of people have been waiting for, I think. It's got a lot of different weapons. It's got weapons controlled by both the pilot and the co-pilot. You've got a Spartan Laser. That's the coolest thing. So a side mod recently did a kind of a mock Spartan Laser using the rocket's trail and turning the rocket red, but this will actually have a working Spartan Laser. It sounds like a Spartan Laser, it looks like a Spartan Laser, and it does damage like a Spartan Laser. It's pretty neat. I actually have some video of that you guys are seeing on screen here. It's really cool videos. Yeah, and beyond that, though, I'm not really sure what else we'll expect from the Sparrowhawk or when we might expect to see that in game, but we'll have to wait and see. Of course, I'll cover that as more comes. Now, here comes the big one. Now, when I say big, I mean both literally and metaphorically big. Now, of course, a lot of people are really angry that the frigate was removed from the mod, and that's certainly understandable. Now, the frigate is one of the most used props in, server-side missions where you've got, like, capture the island type of stuff, and even a lot of, units use it for just their operations as a launching point. It is an awesome prop, it was never fully integrated, but it's used a lot, and it's useful. But, of course, they've said the frigate's not coming back, or at least not for a long time. So, the dog has been doing some research, and he found a fan design for something called the Drake class. Not to do with Drake Darren, this is actually a fan design named the Drake class. And this is a UNSC Corvette, so it's a little bit smaller than the frigate, and it actually works perfect in that regard, because it's just barely the length of, it just barely falls short of the maximum length that Arma allows for, like, big props and stuff, so it's like 47 meters long, I do believe he said. That may change, but, yeah, it's about 47 meters long, and I think about 50 meters high or so it allows you to place it about 50 meters in the air and use the whole ship without having to worry about free fall animations built into Arma, so that's really awesome. Now, I had some stuff that kind of detailed some of the interior rooms on this, but this thing's been changing so frequently, I'm not sure it's worthwhile to necessarily share what those rooms will be. But just so you guys know, some of the features that the dog hopes to have on this is working elevators for vehicles and people. So, like, there will be, like, a Pelican lift. There will be an infantry, personnel lift. You'll have different rooms. Like, there's going to be an ODST drop bay. You're going to have room for an armory. You're going to have bathrooms for decoration. You're going to have crew quarters for people to, I guess, spawn in or whatever. You're going to have dining halls. You're going to have captain's quarters. You're going to have a command bridge with the holo table. All sorts of awesome features. Some of the cooler features, though, this will hopefully have working point defense weapons. There's two M910 point defense turrets on this, one on the back on the top and one in the front and the bottom. There is a small room currently located at the front of the ship that crew members of the ship or infantry or whoever can go into. There will hopefully be stations you can approach, and each station will remotely control one of those turrets. There will also be, hopefully, a Archer missile station. The Archer missile station, just like in the game, it will fire Archer missiles, probably laser guided or maybe remote controlled. I'm not sure how that's going to work. The dog himself isn't too sure how this is going to work either. I've pressed him for a lot of information. He's been pretty willing to share whatever he can. This will have, like docking ports on the side along by the bridge, which you can actually see in some of these images that will hopefully either slide open or flip open. There is going to hopefully be working Bumblebee escape bays, which are in the back of the bridge. You can see the doors for those on the back. Those doors will hopefully explode open when you go to use the Bumblebees, and the Bumblebees will launch out, so that's really cool too. The bay, like I said, the Pelican will be on a moving elevator, so you'll have room for potentially up to 2 Pelicans, depending on how you want to arrange your vehicles and stuff like that. You'll have, probably a hangar door in the back, I would imagine, that can open. I would think that's going to open and close. I'm not positive. He hasn't talked about that. I didn't think to ask about it. The ODST drop bay, which is located in the back of the ship, it can hold up to 6 drop pods that will hopefully have an animation where the ship slides open and the ground below will be revealed, kind of similar to ODST, while also taking a lot of inspiration for the drop pod bay itself from Halo 2. So there's a ton of cool features on this ship. It is still very, very work in progress. This is just early blockouts and stuff. Right now, the dog is pretty preoccupied. He's currently in the middle of doing civilian flight school, and he won't have time to really get started on this until I do believe next month. So I think we should all wish him luck on flight school. Hopefully he gets everything passed and does okay here. So there's a lot of neat stuff with that frigate. Really awesome. Pretty excited for that. Hopefully we'll have some more news on that before too long. There's a ton of stuff to, like I said, cover as far as rooms and pictures, all sorts of stuff. So I might, because even talking about this, I've got so many pictures, I might want to extend that out. So I might just cut to audio and put up music for a second or something. We'll see. Anyways, let's go ahead. Let's continue on with the rest of the stuff. So then, of course, we've got side mods. Mission-wise, I've been covering Code Bandersnatch for Nightovizard. Nightovizard is, of course, a Operation Trebuchet developer, but he's also been a big part of the community long before then, and he uses his own side mod, Optre Plus, and which is a reskin pack for like magical specific units, stuff like that, vehicles. He's made a mission called Code Bandersnatch. It's actually a campaign, so it's actually several missions. Currently, right now, there's 4 missions included. 3 you play as the UNSC, 1 you play as the Insurrection. There is a ongoing story to it. You start off playing as a Marine. You find out that an Oni operative was captured and tortured, and he got some information, so you follow up on that information as a Spartan, and you go through, and then the next mission you play is like an ODST on a big assault, and then you go through and you play as a insurrection member on a counter assault from the UNSC. It's really cool stuff. It's not finished yet. He wants to have many missions for this, 2 chapters too, including the Covenant at some point down the road. So pretty awesome stuff. Definitely check it out. I've got the first video uploaded. That should be out before too long. I'm not exactly sure when I'll get that released, but it should be within the next week or 2. Beyond that, we have some work from, of course, OPCam coming out. Burgess has been working hard. He said that he wants to try and coincide, of course, the release of the mod with the SMG release to have full units. He said it may come sooner than that, but we'll have to wait and see. He shared off a new vehicle he's kind of concepted out. This is a new APC for, I'm assuming, the UNSC. Maybe the Insurrectionists. It sounds like the Insurrections might use version 2, the NEs and stuff in the Colonial Guard he's got. So this APC uses a kind of Scorpion-influenced turret. The barrel's a lot smaller than the Scorpion, but the rest of the turret's definitely influenced by it. Right now, it's just pretty early blockouts for this vehicle, so it's probably going to be a long time before we actually see that in-game if we do. But kind of an interesting concept, pretty excited for that. Hopefully we will end up actually seeing that in the different versions with like the different weapon spaces for, the other factions will be really neat. Something that you really don't get to see in Optre or a lot of mods even. He's shared off a number of different camouflages for his units. He's worked on, some woodland camouflages, some different unit colors for the ODSTs. We've gotten some side-by-side comparisons of some new Warthog textures he's done compared to the Optre Warthog. Lots of neat stuff. The last neat thing I'm personally really excited for, it's kind of weird, but the camera drone from Halo 2. This was, of course, like a civilian news camera that they had. It's like a hover camera that's able to take video and stuff. This will be getting released. There will probably be 2 versions, one that works similar to like a UAV with like a rotating camera and stuff, and then like the standard one with just the static camera. So this will be a really neat thing to have. I'm pretty excited for that. This just seems to fit perfectly for Arma, as odd as that might sound, with it just being like a civilian camera. It works basically perfectly as a UAV, and UAVs are pretty common in Arma. So this would be great to have an asset that looks and feels like something from Halo, while still serving the same functions as some of the base Arma stuff. Other than that, guys, this was a longer video. I do appreciate you sticking it out with me. We'll, of course, have more Operation Trebuchet content to talk about in the not-too-distant future. I am sure of that. Other than that, guys, take it easy, and I will see you all in the next one. What's up, guys? I'm cutting back in again because I forgot to talk about something really big that just completely slipped my mind because it's been kind of on the down low, sort of. So we had some animations shared by Vespade showing off some new Elite animations he kind of mocked up and suggested use for them for the Operation Trebuchet mod. Rob, who is a Operation Trebuchet developer, he's been working pretty well on the down low for a while, but he's been doing a lot of the animations for the OpTre mod. He's been developing new animations for the Spartans and the Elites. So he shared a video of the new Spartans and Elites, which are scaled up. We talked about this some time ago, where basically they found a new way to scale up the animations. Basically use the same default animations for Arma, but just make them larger. So he showed off a running animation with the just a standard person, and Spartan next to him. Spartan's about a foot taller, give or take, and then you've got an Elite, which is about a foot or so taller than the Spartan. All really neat. And then some people started talking about the brutes and being like, well, yeah, these brutes are awesome. What happened to that guy? And so it's my understanding that the OpTre team has gotten into touch with Morthon. The brutes have been on hold. He ran into a problem with them some time ago. Basically, when they died in the ragdoll, caused a big error, caused a lot of problems, and he could not get by it. So he kind of put that on hold. He ended up going to film school, and he's been working on some other video game projects. So the brutes have been on hold for quite a long time now. It's my understanding that the OpTre team, a couple members of it, have reached out to Morthon, and Rob, the guy working on the Elite and Spartan animations, the upscaled ones, have reached out to Morthon, and they're going to try to work together to resolve the issues with the brutes. I don't know if that's going to work out. I don't know if they're going to be able to get by the ragdolls. Obviously, Morthon really wanted to have all custom brute animations, so hopefully that's something we might end up seeing. Obviously, if he's been working on different video game development, he's been practicing his animations and all that other stuff, so maybe that will end up speeding up development, making up for lost time, because I know at one point in time I had asked him about it. He had expected the brutes to be done like last October maybe. So obviously it's about a year behind where he was expecting them to get done, but that was about a 6-month workflow or so at the time that he was looking at to get them completely finished and working in-game at least the most basic level. So hopefully we'll see those. Anyways, guys, once again, I will see you in the next video. Take it easy.